Hello, mappers, and welcome to episode 6.5 of Black Diamond's Alternate Future of the World. Now, this episode's a little bit different because it's not going to have any big wars in it, which is why it's 6.5. It's kind of like, not really filler, but like a bunch of small events instead of like one big one. We're going to be starting off by talking a bit more about the alliances in South Africa. So, first of all, as you probably know, Mozambique in real life is very poor, but it has a lot of potential. So the new nationalist Mozambique government, which I can't really call new because they've had it for since one of the earliest episodes, their government has been able to use the plentiful resources that Mozambique has, consolidate their country, get rid of the terrorists, and Mozambique has become much stronger of a country than it was in our time. Also, Mozambique has had a lot of military and naval expansion too. So Mozambique has actually become quite a powerhouse in the region. Something to also note, Mozambique and Angola were both originally Portuguese colonies. And when during the scramble for Africa, Portugal claimed a strip of land that connected Angola to Mozambique. However, the British had a bigger military, so they got to cut down the middle and mess with Portugal's claims. However, Mozambique and Angola, their goal as nationalist countries is to reclaim what they believe is to be their territory that the British stole from them. So that is currently the goal of the Mozambique Angola faction, the SANC, I believe we called it, the South African Nationalist Committee or something. But yeah, so Mozambique wants eastern Zambia and Malawi, and then Angola wants eastern Zambia. Anyway, we're also now look over to Somaliland. And Somaliland is very corrupt, it's like a collapsing nation. And Somaliland is actually going to fully collapse. Somaliland will get their independence, and well, I'll just show you. And boom, it collapsed. Now, I didn't just have Somalia collapse into Somaliland and Somalia. I also gave Puntland, Jubaland, and Myland their independence. Now, I got all this information from a Geography Now video. The link will be in the description. And thank you. A lot of the information I got in my videos, I do get from Geography Now because I try to make my videos as researched and like historically and like based in like facts and knowledge, and everything I do in the series has a reason to it, or I try to at least do that because my goal for the series is to make a in-depth series with not just like saying, oh, this random country invades this other random country. I'm trying to have historical basis and reason behind my invasions or my independence movements or anything that I do. So I want to say big thank you to Geography Now for helping with the research for this video. This is not sponsored by, not really sponsored, but like I've never talked with people that own Geography Now, but they do help out a lot in these videos. So the link will be in the description. So we have Somaliland, Puntland, Somalia, Myland, and Jubaland. These are all the new countries that were formed after the collapse of Somalia. Now over here, we'll have Nigeria. Now, Nigeria is a very strong country, probably the strongest country in West Africa, although in this timeline it may be a little bit rivaled by the Sahel nation. But there is an English-speaking minority in Cameroon in this area right here due to colonial exchanges or something. I'm not entirely sure. Again, got this from Geography Now. I will link in the description. But to project their power and kind of continue their rivalry to try and become stronger or even stronger than the Sahel Union, Nigeria will declare war on Cameroon, and Cameroon is much weaker than Nigeria. So Cameroon will have a lot of trouble defending against Nigeria. Nigeria is looking to claim this area right here, but they will make pushes into all of Cameroon, looking to cut off. They will actually cut off this exclave right here and quickly capture it, while making further pushes down this area of the country and just kind of making a strong front line throughout much of the nation. The Cameroon forces are concentrated on this major city, so not much progress is able to be made, and actually Cameroon will push into Nigeria a little bit in this area. However, Nigeria will be able to push them back up to the border and make some small gains. However, Nigeria will mostly be focused in capturing this area right here, as this is the area they are looking to claim, and they'll push around the coast and capture this major city here, approaching the capital. Many forces are diverted to protect the capital here, and therefore Nigeria is able to make much larger pushes here in the north, easily capturing this city here and kind of just capturing much of this territories here as well. They will also go in and capture this major city here, and Cameroon will lose a lot of land in the north. The front will meet up with this lake and get up here. Nigerian forces will continue to push, spearheading around this area and trying to encircle it, while also spearheading out here and capturing both of these major cities. There are quite a few Cameroonian forces trapped in this encirclement, and they all will quickly fall to the Nigerian forces. Nigerian forces will also quickly approach the capital and begin to encircle it. Cameroon agrees to a peace deal because they do not want their entire military, which is mostly in here, to get destroyed by the Nigerian military. So they will approach a peace deal. So Nigeria will annex the Ambazoni area of Cameroon. These borders kind of look kind of weird, but I actually really like the Nigerian borders after this. It's very, I don't know, I just like these borders. They're weird, but I like them. Anyways, over here, the Darfur nation that got its independence after the Sudanese civil war had ended, will actually unify with Chad. Now, both of these countries are rather weak nations. They're both heavily underdeveloped and just overall weak nations. But they will both go together and unify because they have a common goal. They have common ideologies. They've been working together since the independence of Darfur, and these talks have been a thing since the beginning of these countries. So I'm not sure what we want to call this nation. Um, Big Chad or something. I'm not really sure. But these nations who are become very close will unify. And unification between similar nations is becoming a trend, as was seen with these nations. But also in this area over here in Catalonia and Andorra, Catalonia and Andorra are both Catalan speaking nations. They both have similar history. And the leader of Andorra, it's complicated. I think the leader of Andorra is like the bishop of a town in Catalonia and then like the prime minister in France, and they both rule Andorra. I don't know, it's really complicated. But anyway, Andorra and Catalonia will make a union, and Andorra will become integrated into Catalonia. Now over to the alliance side of things. Joining the Nordic Alliance will surprisingly be Estonia. Now, Estonia wishes to be a Nordic country, but they're not really as a Nordic country. They're honestly about as they're even less Nordic than Finland, but the turbulent times, the changing world, the Nordics want any ally they can get. So Estonia will enter into their alliance. Another unification will be Albania and Kosovo. When Kosovo gained their independence from Serbia, Albania was their major helper because they wanted to, unify with Kosovo because they are both Albanian-speaking people, and they are Albanian people. So it makes sense that the two would want to unify, especially, like I said, in the turbulent, changing times. Everyone knows that war is looming, and so Albania and Kosovo will unify, and they'll become relatively more powerful of a nation, and will definitely be able to hold their ground more in the war. An interesting thing will happen. Latvia will join the new PC. Now, the nationalist uprising, or not uprising, but change in Latvia may or may not have been sponsored by one of their neighbors, but despite the Baltics' shared history, they have recently been growing more different. Lithuania has been staying neutral they have three alliances all vying for joining into their alliance. So, moving over to Central Asia, the Chinese alliance will greatly expand, incorporating Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and Tajikistan. Now, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan are not close allies in this world, but this alliance is more like the Chinese sphere of influence. And while these two don't get along, they both are friends with China, so they kind of work together in the same alliance. And being in the same alliance gives them better opportunities to work together and try and fix their border problems, which they've actually done a good deal in doing over the past few decades in this world. Also, I should have done this last episode, but Malawi will join the SADC because they have very close ties with these nations right here. But yeah, the world is greatly turning into major factions, and powers are obviously rising. You can also do a power rankings too. I think number one probably going to be China, right? Number two, it's going to be a big gap because China is like significantly stronger than all the other countries, and Russia and USA, which are usually like the big countries, are not here. I'm gonna say probably India, to be honest. And after this, all these countries are really close. Then, honestly, Poland. Poland is like an extreme powerhouse in this world. And then tied for the next place is going to be a lot of countries like France, Mozambique, Angola, South Africa, Japan, Indonesia, honestly, Germany, Pakistan are all going to probably be number four. Number five will probably be like Argentina, but also like Brazil and also like Russia. Because remember, Russia is rebuilding, right? And they're actually kind of getting back up here now. Russia. I wonder who Nigeria will probably be five. The hell probably five. To be honest, Saudi Arabia is also probably five. Turkey. Number six, probably like Australia, Mexico, because Mexico's gotten quite a bit stronger too, with maybe like the DRC, Iran, Ukraine, Romania, South Korea, Canada, Venezuela. Eight will probably go to New Zealand. I think they'd be about seven. They'd go, be about an eight. Nine, honestly, probably like Ethiopia, Egypt, Iraq. This country would be a nine in about a few years, but since they're new, they kind of need to get like settled. But once they get settled, they'll probably be very strong. Libya is probably about a nine after this annexation of this land. They've gotten much stronger. In 10, probably it's going to be like most like 10, 10, and honestly, probably like 10. Ptolemy is probably 10, and Morocco is probably like a 10. England and Spain, despite having like collapsed, are still probably fairly strong countries. Kazakhstan, because remember, Kazakhstan is like the only like positively growing Soviet country. And after like the Russia, and since Russia didn't like try and grab the Russian minority in like Kazakhstan, Kazakhstan's actually doing really good now, along with like the UAE and Oman are also probably gaining quite a bit of strength now too. But yeah, those are probably gonna be the power rankings. I know it's not like top 10 because a lot of countries are like equal to each other in strength. There's no clear like main superpower except for China, of course. But you can definitely tell who has like the concentration of power here because probably 10 here too. And all the nations in like the alliances are also 10 because they've had time to work with each other. But that's probably gonna do it for this episode. It's gonna be a shorter episode, but it is like it's really more of a filler, like smaller things episode. Next episode is gonna be great. It's gonna have big wars, big border changes. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a great episode. But we had to cover a lot of things before the next one. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you in the next one.